review.
There you have it, suka! On the ground, you bitch! Hold on, Artyom, hold on, just a little more!
After them now! Catch them!
Bastards, блин, they're opening the gate! Drop them! I see them!
In Metro Last Light, you can't escape the past. Its remnants are everywhere. You hear the screams of lost souls in the hallways and see the shadows of unseen spirits on the walls. This first-person shooter is an uncommonly well-crafted adventure that understands the fear and uncertainty that arise from silence and stillness. The game's predecessor, Metro 2033, established this series' penchant for mystery and supernatural drama, but Last Light is in a class all its own. It's not just another frightening trek through the dark corridors of the Metro, but a surprisingly moving journey that melds story, setting, and action into a special experience you won't want to miss. Depending on how you played, Metro 2033 might have allowed you to make an important choice at the game's conclusion. Last Light assumes you chose the most destructive possibility, and so the botanical garden that served as the home of the creatures known as the Dark Ones was scorched by missiles. You are Artyom, the man that burned the Dark Ones from the face of the earth. Now you are a ranger, but you still possess a link to the creatures once thought completely annihilated. As it happens, a Dark One has been spotted, and while the Rangers believe it must be destroyed, your buddy sees in its existence hope for the future. As you set off after this lone survivor, you're drawn into conflict between the underground factions, and you become not just a hunter, but also the hunted. It's no surprise that a horror-themed shooter would punctuate your adventure with various moments of dread, shock, and occult circumstances that make the past come alive before your very eyes. More surprising is how poignant Last Light becomes as you confront the consequences of your orders. The final hours raise the emotional stakes and test your allegiances. Various events aren't just related to you in dialogue and cutscenes, but are illuminated by surreal gameplay sequences that remain in your psyche. There are plenty of mirthful asides amid the melancholy ones, however. Characters often react to each other in authentic ways, with jokes and insults rather than long-winded soliloquies.
The things in D6 are like what the Conqueror took with him beyond the grave. Gold steel, and wild steeds, and treasures untold. Of course, the Tomb Raiders would always die horribly, killed by demons or ghosts, or their own greed.
Khan, will you shut up or what? Hey! I heard that Lesnitsky did something! What happened?
The inhabitants of the underground are colorful and individual. They move about with purpose, speaking at length to each other about war and family. You can attend an impressively long, detailed variety show with them. This is life in the Metro, and it's an amazing example of narrative craftsmanship. Such craftsmanship is also on display as you roam under and above ground. This is not a power shooter. You are not out to murder hundreds of nameless grunts without breaking a sweat. You're in danger, and you feel it most every step of the way. In dark, tight corridors, you hear the chattering of the mutated wildlife before you see it. Shining a flashlight on such a freak causes it to recoil, giving you a chance to blast it with a shotgun. When you have several of these creatures on you, the combat becomes dance-like, with you using your flashlight to keep your distance. On the surface, you might be going toe-to-toe with lurching amphibians, only for a winged creature to grip you with its talons, carry you into the air, and drop you into the murky water beneath. All the while, you must collect filters for your gas mask, which you need to stay alive outside of the Metro. There's nothing more terrifying than a cautious investigation turning sour when you hear your desperate wheezing and sprint towards your destination, hoping against hope that you might cling to life. You face equally dangerous humans, though you aren't required to blast them with bullets if you prefer to stay in the shadows. You can use darkness to your advantage, twisting light bulbs and flipping circuit breakers to keep yourself hidden. Your enemies go about their actions in realistic ways. There are patterns, of course, but they aren't always so regimented as to seem unnatural. As a result, the stealth is fun and it's tense, and while you can shoot your way out of a bind, firefights can be pretty tough depending on where and how you're caught sneaking around. Not that your enemies are the sharpest knives in the drawer. They can get caught against walls and clip through the same doorway en masse, but immersion-breaking moments like that aren't that common, nor are the invisible walls that can take you off guard. More common are the PC performance troubles you could run into, particularly if you own an ATI video card. If you play on consoles, the Xbox 360 version gets an edge, since it runs a little better and textures are a little sharper, though the PlayStation 3 version is still excellent in any case. Last Light's real beauty is how it disrupts its own pace, going from terror to relief in a heartbeat, and putting you in one atmospheric location after another. It forces you to consider whether to use all your ammo on the freaks of nature that terrorize you or conserve it for an even more terrifying encounter. And the game isn't afraid to breathe and allow you to take in the world around you, particularly during the first few hours. Metro Last Light is not an endless barrage of bullets and beasts. You get time to explore the nooks and the crannies. It allows the chilling fog to seep into your bones, and when it finally comes time to aim your shotgun at mutated fiends, the impact is greater for the eerie silence that came before. Metro Last Light has demons, and it's only right that you muster the courage to face them.
Ali!